Excuse me, you're Harry's wife, aren't you? Yes, I am. Can I help you with something? Don't you think you're pushing your luck a bit too much, considering you're the one who married into the family? Excuse me? What are you referring to? People are saying that you're a nightmare for your mother-in-law. Pardon? This unexpected confrontation happened one afternoon when a gossip-loving woman, Juliet, approached me during a grocery run. She is my mother-in-law's friend and a neighbor. I was taken aback, utterly clueless about these accusations. Me? Tormenting my mother-in-law? No way. It's absurd to think I'd cause such trouble. I rebutted, feeling more and more flustered. I'm really not sure what you're talking about. I haven't done anything of the sort. But my words fell on deaf ears. Juliet was relentless, not listening to a word I said. Even worse, she said. Stop making lame excuses and start treating your mother-in-law with respect. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. If anyone was getting mistreated here, it was me. My name is Amanda. I've been married to my husband Harry for almost a month now. You could say we're what people call a newlywed couple, still basking in the honeymoon phase. I love Harry and wanted to spend the rest of my life with him, which is why we got married. I never doubted that together, we could build a happy life. I thought so and did not doubt it. But who would have thought that such hell awaited me in my dream of a newlywed life? The plan was for Harry and I to live in a new condo after getting married. The condo was scheduled to be completed before our registration date, and we planned to start moving in bit by bit once we registered our marriage. However, due to some unforeseen issues on the builder's end, the completion of the condo was delayed by about 2 months. This meant we couldn't proceed with our moving plans as expected. At first, we considered postponing the registration date and thus, the moving date. But the registration date we had chosen was the anniversary of our 5-year relationship. We were both pretty adamant about getting registered on that day. But we had already terminated the contract for our previous house and had to move out by the end of the month. Then, after leaving the house, there will be no place to live. That's when Harry suggested that we live with his parents for a while. My hometown is in a far-off rural area, so commuting to work from there was out of the question. But Harry's parents' house was relatively close to our workplace, so commuting wouldn't be much of a problem. Although I was hesitant at first, I realized that we really didn't have a choice. I thought to myself that it was just for a couple of months until we could move to our new condo. So, with that, we went to Harry's parents' house to discuss the situation. I had met Harry's parents before, they seemed like any normal couple. A chatty mother and a quiet father. I thought they were just a normal married couple that you can find anywhere. I didn't think living with them, even temporarily, would cause any serious conflicts. I had a very light-hearted attitude towards it. When we arrived, Harry's mother greeted us with a smile. Welcome Amanda, Harry. Please come in, she said, offering us tea and a plethora of snacks. After some small talk, she asked, You said you had something to discuss. What's going on? Harry and I exchanged glances, turned back to his parents, and he said, Mom, Dad. I'm sorry to ask this, but can we live here for a while? Both Harry's mother and father looked surprised. I thought you guys had found a new home. His father asked. The construction of the condo we were supposed to move into is delayed. We've already given up our old house, so we need a place to stay for about 2 months. Harry explained. His mother's eyes lit up at that. So, that means we'll be living together, she said. I felt a twinge of unease at her reaction, but, regardless, we were going to be living with them even if it was for a short while. Would it be alright if we stay with you for a bit? I asked. Harry's mother nodded vigorously, saying, Of course. It'll be lively and I welcome it. With a big smile, Harry's father, who generally didn't voice his opinion against his wife's, consented. Well, if you are okay with it. Now that that's settled, I need to start cleaning the room. Saying that, my mother-in-law seemed to be quite enthused by herself. Honestly, I did sense a slight difference in our enthusiasm towards living together, but I was just grateful to have secured a place to live. Rather, I thought I could never thank my mother-in-law enough for welcoming us so warmly. A few days later, Harry and I got married and moved into his parents' house. On that day, his mother prepared a great feast for us, all of which were Harry's favorites, and he was stuffing his face saying, "This is so good." To be honest, I was a little shocked because he rarely praised the food I made, but seeing Harry's smile somehow made me feel relieved. "Amanda, you're family now. Eat as much as you like," his mother told me. "Thank you," I said, and enjoyed my mother-in-law's delicious food to my heart's content. She prepared separate rooms for Harry and me, and since we were tired that day, we decided to sleep separately. However, the next morning, I was awakened by my mother-in-law's voice. "Amanda? What time do you think it is? Please get up." Wait, sorry? When I looked outside the window, it was still dim. When I checked the time on my smartphone, it was still 5 a.m. I didn't understand why she woke me up so early on my day off, and when I looked confused, she said, "Don't space out. Please get up. You're in charge of breakfast from today on, okay?" "Well, but I thought we were going to share the chores." When I nervously said this, she laughed. "Hey, what nonsense are you talking about? Don't make me laugh by saying you're going to share chores while you're living here. Hurry up." With that, she left the room. Why did she separate Harry's and my room? At that moment, I thought I had a rough idea. Since then, she's attitude only worsened. Where did she, who welcomed me so warmly, go? Her personality changed so much that I wondered this. If I ever woke up a bit past 5 a.m., she scolded me. "Do you have any self-awareness as a wife? I wouldn't mind if you left." If she didn't like something about the chores I did, she'd say, "What's with the way you're doing things? You're really not educated at all. I'd like to see the faces of your parents." Saying that, she even looked down on my parents. Moreover, she only said such sarcastic remarks to me when Harry wasn't around. When he was there, she would be overly nice to me. I couldn't bear it anymore and decided to talk to Harry about it. "Hey, about your mom, she keeps making snide remarks and it's really hard for me." When I said this, "Snide remarks? From Mom? She must be just overly concerned about you thinking you're her daughter." Harry laughed. "I'm seriously worried." No matter how many times I told him this, Harry never took me seriously, and he always ended the conversation by saying, "Mom's just worried about you. Please try to get along." He made a troublesome face after saying that. We hadn't even been married for a month, and this was the situation. I was quite desperate about my newlywed life with Harry. And then, the incident happened. Being taunted and oppressed by my mother-in-law every day, shopping time was the happiest time for me, who was getting close to my limit. I had the day off this day too, so I finished all the tasks that my mother-in-law told me to do and went shopping. After finishing my shopping, I went to the grocery store to buy what my mother-in-law had asked for. Then, someone spoke to me there. "Excuse me, you're the wife of Harry, aren't you?" "Yes, I am, but..." "Isn't it a bit too harsh to be treated like this, considering you're the one who got married?" "Excuse me? What are you referring to?" "You are said to be harassing your mother-in-law, not the other way around." "What?" At her sudden accusation, my mind went blank. Of course, it would. I had no recollection of doing such a thing. However, the woman named Juliet seemed to think I was playing dumb. "It's not good to feign ignorance. You push the housework onto mother-in-law every day, badmouth her, and gallivant around town, don't you?" She said such ridiculous things. "Hold on a minute. I'm not pushing housework onto anyone, nor am I badmouthing anyone. Moreover, saying that I'm gallivanting around. So, what's in those shopping bags then? Are they not as she said?" With those words, she pointed at my shopping bags and glared at me. "That's not true. I just happened to be off work today." No matter how I tried to explain, she didn't seem to want to listen. Instead, she sighed heavily and said, "I feel so sorry for her. Having such a disappointing daughter-in-law. She must be home doing the housework you dumped on her." She said that and left. At that moment, I felt something snap inside me. Am I the one harassing my mother-in-law? Am I the one pushing housework and bad-mouthing? This is ridiculous. The one pushing housework and bad-mouthing, forcing everything onto me while gallivanting around, it's all her, every single thing, it's all my mother-in-law. With that thought, I left the grocery store without buying anything. When I returned home, as expected, my mother-in-law was waiting for me. "You're late. It's embarrassing to gallivant around till this time." She said that. The time was still before 6 p.m. I wanted to retaliate, but I swallowed my anger and replied, "I'm sorry." Then she sighed deliberately and asked, "So, did you get what I asked for?" "I'm sorry." I rushed back home. "So," I replied. Then she started to get angry, her face turning red. "Stop slacking off. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? You're such a useless daughter-in-law. A disappointing one. It's embarrassing that you're my son's wife." She yelled at me. At that point, I smiled at her. "I'll become the kind of daughter-in-law you say I am," Anne declared. At that, she looked surprised for a moment. "Finally understood, did you?" But she quickly smirked, and then, "So for starters, go buy what I asked for and then start preparing dinner." Before she could finish, I interrupted her. That's impossible. I have to push housework onto you, after all." "What?" As expected, she looked shocked, her eyes wide as she stared at me. What are you saying?" "What am I saying? You're the one who said it, aren't you? That I'm pushing the housework onto you." "Huh." She seemed confused, not understanding what I was talking about. So, for her sake, I explained in detail. "I was approached by your friend at the grocery store today. She told me that I'm pushing housework onto you, bad-mouthing you, and gallivanting around. So, I thought I should become the kind of daughter-in-law you're telling her about." As I said that with a smile, she started to get flustered. Her mouth opened and closed, as if she wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. "Mother. That's how it is. There's only a short time left for us to live together, but during that time, I won't do the housework, and I'll speak ill of you. I'm planning to fill my days off with lots of activities, so understand that." With that, I went up to my room. As I did so, she stood still, shocked. It was the first time I'd ever had the upper hand against my usually nagging mother-in-law. After a while, Harry came into my room when he returned from work. "Hey, Amanda! What did you say to Mom? She looks like she's about to cry, saying you've been bullying her." With such a ludicrous statement, I recounted everything that had happened today. Even after that, he looked unconvinced. "If you're still siding with your mother after everything I've said, then I don't think we can go on like this. If she is so important to you, why don't you just live with your mommy in this house forever?" Upon hearing this, Harry seemed to sense that I was even considering divorce, and immediately apologized. Until recently, he had been casually suggesting that maybe it's okay to continue living together like this, but he promised me that he would move on the scheduled moving day, possibly realizing that the situation had turned precarious after this incident. After moving out, we would have as little to do with my in-laws as possible, and if anything came up, Harry would go alone. If my mother-in-law were to harass me again, we would divorce immediately. He accepted my proposal smoothly and started preparing to move as soon as possible, even before the condo was completed, as promised. My mother-in-law tried to stop him several times, saying to him, "Are you really moving out? You're being deceived by that woman," but Harry paid her no mind. On the contrary, he told her clearly, "I've heard everything from Amanda. Please stay out of our lives." He clearly said so. In hindsight, I wish he had taken my concerns seriously and addressed them from the beginning, but I am grateful that he has changed his attitude now. The thought of divorce had crossed my mind, but there's nothing better than being able to stay with him. And then, Harry and I finished moving, and our true married life began. My mother-in-law still tries to contact Harry, but he seems to be ignoring her. Perhaps feeling a significant sense of guilt towards me. Let me know right away if Mom says anything to you. He's been saying, some may see him as a husband who conveniently changes his tune. But for me, he is my one and only beloved, whom I married with considerable resolution. If the same thing happens again, I'm sure there won't be a next time, but for now, I think I'll forgive him for this incident. As long as Harry and I are healthy and can live ordinary days, that's more than enough for me.